Hey Capricorn, it's Kendrick from Providence Tarot. If you're new, welcome. This is the place to be. Check the description box for any of the details that you need. If you want to get a personal reading from me, email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com. If you want to see me in New York City live, you can come to Shanti Bookshop and Crystal Gallery, which is on 14th Street. I'm there. When am I there? Thursdays through Sundays. This week I won't be there on Sunday. Yeah. Anyway, I am going to get to your mid-month proofread for April. Okay, Capricorn, what's going on with you? We still have Pluto in your sign, which is, transforming your reality and your sense of self, especially if you're a Capricorn rising. This is for Sun, Moon, and Rising Capricorn. And also if you have any planet that is an inner planet in your 10th house, right? You might have your Sun in your 10th house. You might have your Moon in your 10th house. You might have your Mars in your 10th house. Okay, rebirth, Two of Cups. So this is talking about relationship energy with the Two of Cups being here and the rebirth card. That's Pluto. So there could be a relationship just having a transformation, or you could be healing from some past emotions that have really changed, your reality for you, how you see yourself, how you process emotions, how you process relationships, you know what I mean? How you process communication within your relationships. How it affects your ability to generate cash flow and money and wealth for yourself, that type of thing. Ooh, because if you don't feel good, then you're probably not going to be as efficient in making money, And if you have a job that pays you the same salary every week, then it's not that, you just won't be enjoying the process of doing the work for the money that you make. You know what I mean? Anyway, you're a Capricorn. So you have to enjoy your job, you know what I mean? It's not just about making that money. All right, let's go ahead and see what is going on for you. Okay, Prince of Cups. So this is 1/3 Aquarius, okay? And then we're going into 2/3 of Pisces, okay? So this is, let's try to understand things from a higher perspective so that we can actually be compassionate towards what's going on, right? What we see going on around us. We are not going to ignore what, is obvious. It's almost kind of like you just have to put yourself in someone else's shoes. That's what I'm getting, right? Definitely with it being 1/3 Aquarius, which is the humanitarian, right? And then Pisces, which is compassionate, and it rules the feet. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. And if the Knight of Cups is going off into battle, this is a point in the battle which the Knight has to show compassion because it is overwhelmed with a sense of emotion, right? It's almost kind of like, I don't know. It's one of the principles of living is love, right? So it's like when you can't deny something, right? Because it's Aquarius. Aquarius can't deny something. Once you know something, you can't unknow it, okay? So it's knowing and believing, right? If that makes any sense. So this is following your intuition, right? Following your heart, okay? That's what this is as well, Capricorn. Following your intuition, following your heart, and remembering and knowing that you want to lead from a place of compassion and understanding, right? Because the knights or the princes in this deck are ruled by the Chariot, which is leading, okay? You never really know what to expect. That's why you have to be compassionate, right? Put yourself in someone else's shoes. Let's see what's going on over here. Yep, the lady, which is the Empress. And these cards are very much similar because the lady is Venus, and Venus is exalted in Pisces. Venus is love, Venus is pleasure, Venus is graciousness. Okay? Venus is growth. Growth that comes from being flexible, by learning to adapt to a situation, right? Learn to adapt to a situation. But a pregnant woman can only adapt to a situation for so long. You know, at some point the baby has to come out. And this situation is going to change. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like at some point, yeah, I have to accept the terms, or I have to accept the conditions as they change, right? And then I'm putting myself in someone else's shoes because I know that, and I have to remember to be compassionate, because the lady is going to feel different on any given day just based on whatever's happening in the situation, because the Prince of Cups is sensitive, but also the lady is very sensitive too, to the inner world and the outer world. So it talks about an environment that is changing over a period of time that someone is having an emotional response to, but also a physical response, okay? Physical and emotional responses. And the Prince of Cups is like, oh, let me be compassionate towards you because I know that you're having all of these changes happen, right? I'm understanding that you're having to maintain a sense of flexibility, right? You're having to be strong too, even when you feel uncomfortable, right? With the lady being pregnant there. A lot of things going on, trying to manage a lot too, while everything's happening, yeah? So let's look at what the other card is, Capricorn, the Moon, yeah? So somebody is also hiding their emotions, how they feel, you know, because they're learning as they go, and they know that their emotions are going to change at any given time on any given day, because the Moon changes, you know, the sign that it's in every 2.5 days. So I feel different as each day goes by. You know what I mean? So I'm learning how to deal with feeling differently as each day goes by. I'm learning how to manage my emotions as each day goes by. I'm learning how to manage my fears as each day goes by, and my discomforts, right? Because I do have a true inner knowing that things are always changing and things are always evolving. So that's what you need to know. So don't think and don't feel that, you know, you are being challenged by your emotions. You're not. Your emotions are just being felt. You're being navigated by your emotions. And if you feel like if you have negative feelings, that means that there is probably something in your outer world that needs to change. Because now, you know, the inner world is what we are focusing on when we have intense emotions, right? So why do we have those intense emotions? It's because of It's because of something that's happening outside of us, right? That affects something that is happening inside of us, and vice versa. You know, because there are two sides to every coin, but we only see our side sometimes, right? We only see one side of the moon. So there's another side of the moon that we don't get to see, that the moon isn't showing us, that the moon can't even show us, right? Because the moon is like the most internal part of a person. Think about the core of the earth, right? We're never going to get there, and you'll die trying to get there, right? So it's almost like when you think of a person as being like their own world, they have their own inner world that no one is ever going to be able to get to. But it's almost kind of like understanding that someone does have a lot of things going on, right? As you do, right? Don't you? Don't I? Don't we? Right? So it's also kind of like, how are we going to serve our emotions and how, you know, how as a compass, right? How are we going to serve ourselves by using our emotional compass to get us places, right? And sometimes when you're in the ocean or you're at sea, it's kind of like you don't know what the weather's going to be like. It's always going to change. You know, the tides change with the moon, you know? Anyway, let's look and see what's behind this Prince of Cups. The Princess of Cups, right? So the Prince of Cups definitely has compassion towards the Princess of Cups, because the Prince of Cups is in a higher position, or it's in a better position, right? The Princess of Cups almost feels like they're stuck in the place that they're in just because they are Earth, which is ruled by Saturn, right? And the element. The Prince of Cups, the Knight of Cups, is fire and water. So the fire has like more intensity than the earth does, you know? So the Princess of Cups is having a difficult time managing the emotions. They're just being challenged by that. They're having to be responsible and manage their emotions, even though they might feel intimidated or in a less I don't know, what am I saying? Hierarchical position. The hierarchical positioning 1111 is different between the knight and the page, right? So the page has to deal with that, but the knight is compassionate towards that. Let's look at what's going on with the lady here, the Empress. Wow, the Four of Wands are there. So there's a progression here. So the lady, the Empress, is protected. Full circle moment, right? Going through a lot. I've gone through a lot. So this is Venus in Aries. This is Venus, and this is Venus in Aries. So this is Venus being in the 12th house. So this is sort of like an exaltation. Venus being in the 12th house is Venus being like Venus being in Pisces. You see what I mean? So it's like, again, having a heart, right? Being compassionate. This is Venus seeing it, having seen it all, right? So it's aware, right? It has perspective, okay? This is where perspective benefits, and having perspective benefits, and having perspective brings harmony. Having perspective brings in optimism. Having perspective brings in a, a fundamental sense of communication, but it's also emotional intelligence and being able to like feel out a situation. Because even though sometimes the lady here, she knows that she's pregnant, but she doesn't see what's going on inside. She feels. And then the Four of Wands is saying, oh, okay, now it makes sense. Now it's obvious to me, because I've gone from Venus in Taurus all the way around to Venus in Aries, because Venus isn't going backwards. She might if she's retrograding, right? So if we think of this as being a retrograde, because it's Venus here and she rules Taurus first, before we get to Libra, right? But we are dealing with that. We are dealing with balance as well. So some actions are balancing out. This could be Libra or Taurus energy, or Pisces or Cancer energy. So the Venus is being flexible here by balancing out the situation through actions, right? But then we're also thinking about like Venus being in Aries, and if it's going around full circle 360, or if it's taking a back seat, or if it's taking a step back, right? And whenever a planet retrogrades, it means that you're learning something that already has been experienced before, or you're seeing something that has been experienced before, but you're also like, there's a new analysis, there's a new determination, right? There's something else that's being discovered from what has already been experienced. Does that make sense? So it is kind of like sort of like an emotional epiphany, or like an emotional reasoning of sorts, and behind the moon is the Chariot. So the moon is progressing, the Chariot is progressing. So there are progressions here. There are things that we are going to see, new things. We are being led to have a new experience, right? That's going to lead us towards a victory, and we're bringing balance back into our lives through determination, through action, maintaining a sense of optimism while we're going through it. It's not easy, but it's thrilling, right? To feel like change is coming with the Chariot card being there. All right, Capricorn, damn. Like, share, subscribe, comment on the video, follow me on Instagram, whatever. Look at the description box, what's in there. Okay? Bye.